are live. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of an unnamed live stream. I haven't really named it yet, but it's today. Basically, it's a lot every Thursday. I've settled on at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I go over some of the latest news. We have conversations. Also, maybe double in some things and answer questions. But it's a gathering of the minds after a long week. Near the end of a long week, we get to cool down and rest. Maybe you wrapped up set. Maybe you're in the final leg of some work. Who knows? But anyways, it's a little wind down. But we get to enjoy that we know, which is filmmaking. At least as long as it lasts. No, it's gonna last. It's gonna last. It's gonna last. But if you guys enjoy the work and the content I do, definitely make sure to hit those likes and good comments. Today we got some interesting news out of Canon, some not so good news from Kodak and Adobe, and and some looming news that we've known for a while with DJI. But we do got a new competitor for DJI in the drone market for the U.S. since it looks like they may be out here. DJI may be out of the drone market in the U.S. for a while. So that is the kind of conversations that we're going to be talking about. Also, if you guys, we'll also talk about some couple other things that came up that was recently released. So all that and more. So you guys are here. Definitely let me know. Let me know how I sound. Hopefully everything sounds great. Really digging the Hollyland Lark Max 2s. Really enjoying it. And from what you guys said from the last video and from the other content that I posted, you guys are really enjoying this. So yeah, there's a couple things that bother me, but I'll get to that when I get my review video. So, thank you guys for those of you here. We got 4 people now. For you 4 people, thank you guys for joining me on your Thursday. You don't have to, but I'm glad you did. So let's not waste any time. Let's talk about some news that came out about Canon, and that Canon might be entering the smartphone market, which is interesting. But it looks like it may be that way. They may be trying to take some market shares out of Apple. We'll see. But this is all coming from this article by YM Cinema magazine. Really love the contents that they have over there. But as you guys will see right here, but it looks essentially Canon has put out a new patent. And the new patent, basically, the actual call of it is the. Hold on, let me gather myself before I start saying this. The image pickup device capable of performing image pickup in a plurality of image pickup models in parallel and control methods thereof. It's a very, and as the article explains, it's a very fancy way of saying, hey, this is a camera that has 3 lenses and it can swap between any of these 3 lenses while shooting stills or video without any interruptions. Essentially, something very similar to our Apple smartphones or Androids. Unfortunately, I have the iPhone. I don't. Unfortunately, it's still really good, even though it's a couple years old now. I have the iPhone 14, but the point I'm trying to make here is that it looks like Canon is going to be producing a product that has 3 lenses, all the enclaves, and even if you guys see here on the patent, the patent number itself. The design basically gives it a look that, yes, they are going to be looking like they're trying to build their own smartphone. There's actually another one down later on in the article where they give some, you see a little bit more. So like I said, this is the shot here, but also you can see here, and this other picture off on the right, that it's designed to where it can swap between the different focal lengths if it wants to. So yeah, and again, this is from YM Cinema. I'll once this live stream in, I'll leave descriptions for the article so you guys can check it out. But essentially, yeah, Canon is essentially Canon is eventually trying to build their own smartphone, which I think right now sort of is question of, is this sort of a good strategy for Canon to go? So let's talk about the positives first. The positive is that Canon's, look, there's always a debate between Canon and Sony regarding who has the better autofocus. But either way, Canon is, whether you believe Sony is better or not, Canon is still of the elite in terms of autofocus. So seeing a camera, a smartphone camera that has dual pixel autofocus that Canon provides, that would be something I think be interested in. And also, Canon has really been trying to attack the content creators and sort of get the content creators and a lot of content creators to this day still use, phones to do their content, do their posts, especially for TikTok, for another vertical content. So if Canon was to do that, that is something that they are interested in sort of moving into. Obviously, this is still being in a patent phase. This is probably like at least a year out, if not maybe more out. But what are some of the downsides? I mean, the first thing that comes to me in terms of the downsides are, we kind of have a history of a camera company that tried to enter the smartphone technology, a smartphone game, and that was, of course, as I'll get ready to move it so the right everybody was, if y'all remember, Red tried to enter the smartphone technology with their Hydrogen One that you guys can see right here, and that did not go well for Red. Red lost quite a bit of money with this try to go this route of smartphone. It was not. It didn't catch on as you do, and now you could basically try to find these guys now on Amazon for like looks like it's a refurbished one for $169. Pretty sure it doesn't have any of the raw capabilities, but yeah. So that's one of the reasons that, hey, we have someone that also was, had sort of good ties with Canon as well, probably still does, that tried to enter this. And I think the main thing is that right now Canon, all we see from this is the camera side of smartphone technology, which is a very, very, very important piece. But we cannot also ignore the other things that all this technology does, and sort of the incorporation of everything in one area. And that, I'm not sure Canon is fully ready yet. Like, how easily accessible is it to other applications? I'm assuming, is Canon going to try to create their entire thing? I'm pretty much guessing that they're going to run on Android technology. So I guess how friendly is the smartphone from Canon going to be working with other applications? How is it just it's going to behave simply as a phone? How is it? It's about transferring files. There's a lot more into cameras. Not cameras. Smartphones. Will it be able to connect and connect to TVs and things like that, like our phones do? There's so much more than just what the cameras on these smartphones can do, and I just hope Canon understands that and learns from Red's mistake and not and really treads carefully, because trying to get into a smartphone game without covering everything, you can't just be video production, because people are going to look for smartphones and smartphones like this. They're going to want to try. They're going to want these guys for. They're going to want to use them for more than just cameras. So it's a mixed bag to me. And again, this is the patent. This may never come to light of day, but it's something that I think is interesting to see, that Canon is exploring other options of how they can work some of video uh, their video products or their still products into different markets. So that's interesting to say. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think it's a smart move for Canon to try to enter the smartphone market? I would love to know what you guys think. Let me know and leave your comments down below. See right now we're still kind of early, so we'll get ready and we'll move on to another piece of news story that is sad to see. This news sort of came out, a lot of it breaking out today, but it sort of came out a few days ago. But this article by News Shooter sort of kind of explains this all, and that it is Kodak is struggling right now to survive, as it says in the article. So the article goes, Kodak is facing its most serious financial crisis in over a decade. Still, it is actively pursuing a path to solvency using an expected pension fund payout and potential debt restructuring. Hopefully, the 145-year-old company won't be taking its final blow. Kodak's executives flagged nearly $500 million in debt due within next year, with no committed financial or liquidity to cover these obligations. In regulatory filings, Kodak warned these conditions raised substantial doubt about its ability to continue operating as a going concern. And you guys go to newsshooters.com and read the article so you can get the full article. The article also goes on to say that Kodak does not intend to file for bankruptcy. They don't intend to be shut down. They think they will get through it. So it will be interesting to see what happens. Again, this is another sign of the times that a lot of these legacy companies are facing struggles and struggling to adapt. And I think this is a good time to sort of talk about sort of the future of filmmaking, the future of video production, the future of video content. I guess you could say that too. But a lot of these companies that had long-standing owners, maybe they survive. Again, we talked about it last week with Arri, that they are seeking out potential buyers of the companies. They're exploring the options. They did respond, and basically they said, we will handle this matter quietly. We do not wish to discuss it. Long story short, that's the TLDR, but essentially what they said. So they didn't confirm or deny that they're exploring options to sell, but they are, they're basically saying they're handling it and they have no comments at this point. But back to Kodak, this one is, I think, even older. Kodak's even older than Arri. And honestly, it's been amazing that Kodak has survived this long. Um, because just the fact that, again, the print film is still, you know, to this day, is somewhat popular, but print film is slowly aging out, which for those of us that love and admire it, I'm an admirer of film print and what Kodak has done. And I mean, look, a lot of the movies and stuff that I do was still shot on film. They were still shot with Kodak prints. Um, you got the Hateful Eight. I mean, you got one of my favorite financial movies of all time, Margin Call. That's another one. I mean, you got the original. I mean, you got the original Thor. There's so many. The original Thor movie, the Dark Knight. There's so many that was shot on, Kodak with Kodak prints. If it does go away, I mean, yeah, somebody can swoop in and buy it, but it just won't feel the same as it was. And I feel like this is something that is going, and I think there was an actual article on YM Cinema as well that sort of went in and kind of explained, like, went in to see the whole, give the history of Kodak. And that's another great article I think you should look at, is on YM Cinema, where they go into the history and sort of the importance of why we need to keep this in. And I do agree, but it's much. I mean, look, film print is it's expensive now, and it's not as nearly as accessible as it used to be. So it's harder to get, and it's much more expensive. And those are never recipes for longevity. And Kodak, and I'll even go along the same with Arri. Kodak and Arri they went so long without trying to pivot or change directions, and they're all suffering the consequences. We've seen companies like I guess you could say, Canon. Or actually, no. I guess Red is a good way to start, because Red was one of the bigger giants, and then I guess they saw how things were going, and they started to bring out more affordable and accessible cameras, introducing something like the original Komodo and the new Komodo X that sort of came after it. So I think Red saw, and I think that's also why Red was trying to enter in the smartphone with the Hydrogen One. They kind of saw where things was going. And companies like Blackmagic Design, Panasonic, even Canon to a lesser extent, and Sony, Fujifilm, they all saw, they were all able to capture so much because they were able to get now good quality cameras, and cameras are just so good now that it allows people to get into doing work and doing independent film, is just doing their work with less expensive gear. And also, I mean, it's just another sign of the times that, money's just not circulating in as much as it used to be. It's just not money, especially here in the United States. It's not circulating nearly as much. So you got to be able to pivot, and you got to be able to adapt. And if you're not, it's going to be brutal, or you're going to get left behind, or you're going to wither away. So we'll see how that goes. So we got a little comment here. So Philip, thank you for joining me, man. Appreciate it. Kodak. We're talking about Kodak, and Kodak. I hope they do survive, because, or at least if something does, if they cannot go, and they will have to file bankruptcy and somebody has to buy in. My concern is that there's not, for those that love the art of film, they're not going to be the ones that'll be able to come in and buy it. It's going to be a company that will take it and try to figure out a way to use it. But it's just the feel of what made Kodak. I don't think it's going to it would last. Again, I hope they get through with this. Someone that I'm not necessarily now, however, someone I'm not necessarily excited or happy, or should I say, someone I'm less I'm less concerned about, who's going into financial troubles, which it's more of a kind of saw it coming, and it's sort of their own doing. Is also Adobe, and Adobe is seen it, and this is coming once again from YM Cinema, but Adobe's stock is in a free fall. And basically, the article sort of highlights how they basically, the main things was AI, sort of the advancements in AI, based in terms of both video and still, so Midjourney, Sora, and all these other technologies have come in and just made it easier. That it's kind of hurt Adobe, and also, but they also bring up the high subscription costs. Look, I think Adobe was already in trouble. I mean, Adobe's been in trouble for a while now, and again, it talks about again, the main things is the perfect storm of AI disruption meets print fatigue. Go to YMC Cinema and sort of talk about it. I'll start with the AI part. I do think the AI, especially with a lot of these photo, image generating AIs and video imaging AIs that are popping up, they are definitely accredited, but I think it's more of the image because it's able to get the shots and do stuff that you may want to do, or maybe get a shot that you kind of how to do it. But I don't think that has impacted, because as very, very, as very, very interesting as how much AI has moved forward, it's still not there yet, and it's still quite a bit of ways away. This has more to do with Adobe's the way Adobe has moved things for so long. The way Adobe put up with these subscription models. To me, the moment they went subscription, instead of having, or at the very least stop offering a lifetime purchase or a one-time purchase, the moment they did that, this was just going to be a slow death. And we're now seeing the effects of it, because you're seeing, even though they're trying to build their own AI, what a lot of people are not liking is that Adobe's trying to use your own work to help generate its own AI. So it's like, yeah, let's just go ahead and put the nails in our own coffin that Adobe's going to bury us in. It's like, why would anybody do that? As I said, it's like Adobe wants to buy your videos to trade its AI generators for $3 per minute. Like, first of all, that is insanely, like, Adobe. Do you really $3 a minute? Because when you actually think about how much you charge your clients for an Instagram reel, or how much you charge, for an Instagram reel, or for some social media reel, or an ad, how much you pay for an ad, and Adobe wants to pay $3 for essentially the same time that you would pay your clients for like an ad or a reel. Like, that's insane. That is insane to me. Yeah, there we go. So to me, this is just, it was an inevitability. In the case of Adobe, this was inevitability because I left Adobe a long time ago, and it became very, very clear once I bought DaVinci Resolve. Like, first time I got DaVinci Resolve, I paid with my own money for it. Actually, no, I didn't. I actually bought a Blackmagic, the OG Pocket, and that came with DaVinci Resolve. But when that happened, and I got DaVinci Resolve, and I've been using DaVinci Resolve for years, I was like, wait a minute, why am I paying Adobe money that I'm going to ultimately like pay less than with DaVinci Resolve in 6 months what I would have paid for Adobe? And the math wasn't math, and I was just like, you know what? But then the ridiculousness it was to get out of those subscriptions. Like it was some sort of like it was like some like Bob shakedown or something. It's like it was just this to me. Adobe has been setting very bad. Adobe hasn't done well with getting its making its customers feeling they're paying what they're worth. A lot of people are staying on Adobe, and everybody I talk to right now is like they want to leave Adobe, but the only reason they're staying with Adobe is because all their client files are on there. And to me, that's not a winning formula. And eventually, the other NLEs like Final Cut, but specifically DaVinci Resolve, has grown substantially to leaps and bounds where it's now undeniable to everybody that DaVinci Resolve is a better NLE software than Premiere and After Effects and Audition, which you get all of that in Resolve for free, and also not to the same extent, obviously, but you kind of get a little bit of a Photoshop because of the color grading platform. Because I build all of my thumbnails inside DaVinci Resolve. I have Affinity to basically develop my raw photos, but after that, I just go into DaVinci Resolve, and I basically do everything and edit everything there and put my thumbnails and anything else that I put up for the web through DaVinci Resolve, because DaVinci made it so easy and so seamless to do it, which we're still struggling to get out of Adobe. So with this article talking about the struggles that Adobe's going through, I'm not surprised. I am not surprised, and this was a long time coming. All right, let's see what the chats say. Yes, Adobe's price model with subscription. Yes, exactly. Yeah, that's what I told. Adobe sold their soul to the devil. No argument for me, man. No argument for me at all. It was like, I think once they saw the subscription, and I think they were probably one of the earlier ones, but I think once they saw subscription and what they saw at a consistent rate, greed blinds a lot of people. And there's a reason why it's called one of the 7 deadly sins is greed. So, yeah. Now, I should also clear before. I know I've been going on DaVinci Resolve, and it is a one-time payment. But let's also talk about that DaVinci is now also talking about a subscription. But I don't think they're killing the one-time payment. From all accounts, it's just they're exploring options. But as of right now, it's still a one-time payment. It's still a free upgrade. So until that changes, I'm going to continue rocking DaVinci Resolve. And it looks like that's it. Probably going to be a quiet day today. So, and I guess the other thing we got to talk about is, where is it? There it is. Is DJI. Basically, a lot of people are concerned that DJI is going to get banned. I mean, right now, the law passed already. The law passed last year. For those of you, if you're not aware, last year, like right before the turn of the turning of the year, the outgoing President Joe Biden signed into law a ban. Basically, it wasn't a full-out ban, but basically it said DJI had to submit to an audit. And basically, if the audit was not, basically what it's saying is if the audit is not satisfied, that DJI is not, doesn't have has shown enough evidence that it's not tied to the Communist Party of China, that they will officially be banned, and they're not surveilling or capturing data of U.S. citizens. DJI will be banned from new purchases of drones. And that audit is supposed to be completed by the end of this year. So December of this year, we'll be seeing if DJI is fully banned, which fully explains why, as this article from City D points out, explains why, DJI's sort of been pulling out for a while. So it goes over a lot of the things where, like I said, the United States government is poised to clamp down on DJI, the Chinese drone giant whose products have become a mainstream of aerial photography and filmmaking. Citing national security concerns, officials have set in motion measures that could effectively ban DJI drones from the U.S. markets by the end of 2025. For American filmmakers and other creative professionals, the prospect of losing access to DJI's affordable, high-quality drones has stirred anxiety. I think that's pretty accurate, and it's not just us filmmakers with DJI. This is also, this is just professional. This hits so many different fields. Contractors, construction contractors, even geographical scientific studies. So many different fields are affected by this, because I don't think people really understand how much DJI drones play a role in our drone business, regardless if it's filmmaking or not. It plays such a significant role. So the fact that there's potentially no more drones are going to be able to come from DJI, that's sad. It also means that if you're trying to get a DJI drone right now, it's going to be super expensive, which I guess I'm still glad I'm holding on to I still have my Mavic 2 Pro, and I recently went to search eBay to see how much this would be going for, and you know what? I don't do drone work as much as often, and I'm not sure if I travel that I'll be using that often, or I may get a smaller drone for travel because of weight restrictions. But if I was to sell the drone right now, a DJI Mavic 2 Pro, this is what, 7 years old? I think it's like 7 years old right now. It's going for like $1,600. $1,600 for a 6-year-old, for a 7-year-old drone. It's insane. It is not just a drone. First of all, if you can find a DJI Osmo Pocket, good to you. I'm so glad I grabbed this at the end of 2023. I grabbed the Osmo Pocket 3. I bought it again at the price I did. I think it was like $700 for the Creator Combo. It was like $650. It's now almost $1,000. It's like I said, it's insane, and it's crazy. But I guess that's why we now are, I guess that's why we're now getting talks about Insta360's new drone, which has been which is highlighting right now. You've probably seen this throughout all day today. It's the fact that there was the announcement by this company that's under the umbrella. I think it's under the umbrella of Insta360, but it's called Anti-Gravity, and they just announced their A1 8K 360 drone. Very interesting drone, but this is always interesting to see the content creators that come out and start showing things off. So you kind of know what it's saying. Because the way this was being shown out today, you would think this is a really production ready, it's ready to go drone. This drone is not coming out till next year. It's not ready. And So yeah, I was just wondering, it's like, oh, okay, a new drone coming out. Right now, they're still, I think it says right here at the bottom. Yeah, it's the early access program. We're talking about so we're now putting so now YouTubers are putting out for early access to a drone that is not yet ready, and yet that's how we're going to get started. That's how we're going to start it. Like this is where we gone with YouTube. But overall, again, it looks like a very interesting drone, and it looks like it's going to be the FPV style. Which, if there was going to be a 360 drone, that made the most sense for it to go that route. I just was like, for me, it was just like I just found it funny at how many people are now talking about this drone today for something that it's not even complete. It's not even ready, and it's not going to be ready for like at least 6 months, maybe even longer. But yet here we are talking about it. Like, it would be different if it was like the company came out and they talked about it and they're really excited. Like, no, like Panasonic announces that they're going to do this camera, it's going to be do this, cool. But we're already getting review videos. We're already getting review videos for a product that's not even ready yet. Like, just think about that for a second. Why are we getting, I just want to know, to my fellow YouTubers out there, why are we getting product reviews or first looks or first impressions of a product that's not even complete yet? Money talks. Money talks, man. And that's really what I want to cover today. Let's go to the comment sections. Quiet today. So if you guys have any thoughts about anything, let me know down below in the comments, and I'll come in and talk about it. Otherwise, I think that's about it, and we'll see. But I'll leave it open for you guys. We'll open the floor up, and let's just have conversations. How's your guys' week been, by the way? Mine has been productive, actually. It's been quite productive. I actually got a shoot for a doc next week. So last week we did location scouting for where we're going to shoot at. We're doing all the prep work to get the gear in that we're going to be needing. I finally settled on a set of lenses that I'm going to be going forward with. So really excited to put these use onto more sets as we get into busy season. And then, we also, there's actually a couple things that I'm excited. I've been doing a lot of networking this week because there's been a lot of networking events that have just opened up. I guess they're getting ready to get people, small business chatting around here in the Philly area. So I've just been going around just making sure, get my workout and continue to push forward. And I see there's a lot of great potential. So even though a lot of the articles I've talked about today give a sense of a bit of a bleak future, I think, like, if you stay committed, if you stay with your ear to the ground and you continue just putting yourself out there, you put your name out there and just continue to just put stuff together, and if you can get through this, opportunities are going to come out once you get to the other side. So looks like there's no other additional comments, so I'm going to just not waste anybody else's time, and I'm going to end the stream. For those of you that were here, thank you guys for watching. I as always, enjoy it. And until next time, take care, everyone.